We're back, we're really, really back. You've been back. I haven't. It's January 3rd today. January 3rd. Happy New Year. Happy February to you guys. Well, you've already had a February video already today, this month. Hey, it's been a minute. I hope everybody's holidays were good. Although by now you're well into 2024. So, let's do a thumbie. Welcome back to Every Disney Movie Ever. My name is Jess and I'm watching Every Disney Movie Ever. Today I'm going to talk about Wizards of Waverly Place, the movie. Wizards of Waverly Place, the movie is a 2009 Disney Channel original movie about Alex accidentally wishing her parents never met and how her and her siblings have to work together to try and undo the spell. It is directed by Lev L Spiro, cinematography by David A. Makin and Raphy? Molinary. Editing by Matthew Colonna, music by Kenneth Burgomaster, and it's written by Dan Berendsen. Film stars Selena Gomez as Alex, David Henrie as Justin, Jake T. Austin as Max, Maria Canals-Barrera as Teresa, David DeLuise as Jerry, and Steve Valentine as Archie. This was the second most viewed DCOM ever, which is crazy. They filmed in Puerto Rico, so they filmed in San Juan at the Cabre Hilton Hotel, Cueva Ventana, Castilla San Felipe de Morro, and then they also filmed in Toronto, where they usually filmed. A sequel was floated, but never occurred, but they did do The Wizards Return Alex vs. Alex. Visually speaking, nothing particularly stood out to me except the fact that it was really well done location shooting. You can tell that the majority of this is done on location in San Juan, with the hotel and the cave and all of that, and they did a mighty fine job doing that. It is hard to do location shoots, let alone a Disney Channel original movie dealing with children and animals and sounds and everything, but visually speaking, it was really well done location shooting wise. Alright, I think I have to share my backstory with this movie just a little bit. I was not a huge Wizards of Waverly Place fan. It was towards the tail end of like my Disney Channel watching days. Like, I think this was one of the last shows I caught a few episodes of before I just kind of stopped watching Disney Channel. And probably like cable in general, honestly. I just kind of was doing other things. I don't even know. I was watching, I don't even know what I was watching, okay? To be perfectly honest with you, I just know I didn't watch this religiously. I saw a few episodes. I remember she had a couple boyfriends, but I was never huge on it. And I think the reason I was never like huge on it is, one, it was toward the tail end of my Disney watching days. But then two, I think because I knew that it would ultimately always be like only one of them would win the family wizard magic. And I thought that was sad that they couldn't all share it or find a loophole or whatever. And they couldn't be with more. Like, I was upset knowing that no matter what would always end up being the outcome, and that like it would probably be Alex, which made me sad for Justin and Max, and just, yeah, it just, I didn't hold on to it because of that. I didn't get super attached because of that. But one random night at my dad's house, I turn on the TV and the Wizards of Waverly Place movie is on, and I had never seen it. I don't even know. This could have been premiere night. I have no idea. I wasn't like keeping up with this like it was like High School Musical. You know what I mean? Like, I had no clue. I didn't even know they were making a movie, I think. Like, I have no memory. All I know is I turned on the TV, Disney Channel was on, and it was toward the beginning. I don't know if I saw the very beginning of it, like, you know, when she does the whole subway stuff with Harper. I think maybe like I had tuned in right as they were getting to the vacation spot. And I was like, oh, interesting. Okay. And so I kept watching, and this movie destroyed me. I was sobbing in my bed while Alex is like, Justin, help me, what do I do? And he's like, I'm your brother. Oh my god. This movie totally destroyed me, altered the course of my life. Like, I just was like, that movie had no right to be that good. And then I've only seen it a couple times since because it destroys me when I watch it. So I don't think I've seen it all the way through since that time in 2009 or 2010. So with that, now watching it full through as an adult, I own it. but I did watch it on Disney Plus for this. I will say the setup is really well done. You do have the little shenanigans at the beginning that feel like an episode, but the whole setup they do of Teresa and Alex already butting heads with the don't push. I'm already like letting you not go on this vacation and stay at Harper's. Like, you know, please, it's really hard for me, don't push. Like setting that up and setting up, you know, Justin and Alex and Max's usual stuff, and the setup of that is so great. And then when you get to the vacation spot, everything that like leads to her making the wish is really good. And then the reality, like the realness and genuine like reaction that the kids have, that they've that Alex has accidentally done something that while she said it in the heat of the moment, absolutely didn't mean, and like immediately regrets it. Like I think we've all been there as kids. I think we've all like said something and been like, oh my gosh, I immediately regret what I said. That's so mean. I take it back. It's so hurtful. And she has to deal with the consequences of it, and just the way it's executed. Like I think the part of this that like truly gets me every time is the Justin and Alex dynamic. I love that Alex learns and comes to like a better understanding with her mom, Teresa, but the Justin and Alex scenes in this movie are the ones that murder me. And I think it's because I have an older brother and I love him to pieces. So I think it just makes me extra sensitive to it. I don't know, but I also think I'm just like a sucker for like characters that are always mean to each other, like finally being like, no, you're my brother, you're my sister, like, I love you, and I'm worried about you, and I want to help you, like, oh, I'm just such a sucker for that stuff. So I think the setup is super great. I think Justin and Alex's entire arcs together are so stellar. They give me every time, like, the scene where they're at the fire, and he's like, are you cold? And he's gonna give her his little shirt. And she's like, no, I'm all right. And then she's like, I know I don't say it, but like, you're a good big brother. Or the scene where they're hovering the rocks and they're having like an actual discussion, but working together while doing it. Oh my God, so good. And then obviously at the end when she's like, you know, Max has been taken to reset the timeline, and then she won the family wizard, and she turns and she's like, oh, I don't know what spell to do, Justin, help me. And he's like, why would I help you? And she's like, well, you're my brother, and you know, whatever. And he goes, I'm your brother. Like, oh my God. But then the real kicker line, dude, is, I don't know you, but I would never leave you. I'll help you. Like, oh my God. It gets me every time, fam. I'm a sobbing mess, dude. It's just so good. And then the one piece of plot that I'm just so, like, what? Is when Archie turns her back into a bird and keeps the bird. She's just done you so dirty. But it makes me just sad for Archie. He's got issues for sure. But it's so well written for a DCOM. It's got everything. It's got adventure. It's got magic. It's got such heart-to-heart moments. Like, oh, it's so good. I don't know what Lev L Spiro did to get the performances out of these people that he got. The whole movie I'm going, you know what? I think Maria steals the movie. And then I was like, you know what? Actually, I think it's Selena. And I'm like, you know what? I think it's Selena and David. Like, they just steal. Everyone is so good. And then I feel like Jake didn't have enough stuff, but I feel like there are multiple moments that Jake, I'm like, okay, go off. And then you can't ignore David and Maria's just top, like Maria's ability to get sympathy from like the kid. I remember feeling sympathy for Maria when I was a kid. And like for me to feel sympathy, you know, as a kid of the mom being like, don't push, please. Or like, you should know better. And like all this kind of stuff. So good. And then David's ability to just be this perfect, cheesy, awesome, like, comedy moment is so great. I was living for it. I feel like he really brought some comedic relief to something that's really like, ooh. And the way he can play both, like, the dad who's like, no, we've got to do this, like, we've got it, you guys are great, and the silly, like, Bachelor. Like, oh my gosh. So excellent. Everyone is so good. I do remember, I feel like they did on Disney like a commentary version, or I watched a commentary or something, and I remember it was like Selena and the director or something along that line, and the director was like, do you remember what I said to you to get you to cry like that in the final scene when she's like crying about Justin? And she was like, I don't think so. And he like whispers it in her ear, and she's like, oh yeah, oh my god. Like, so I think it was like a hard memory for Selena to get her to cry. I think I vaguely remember her being like, oh yeah, you really pulled like the hard memory for me or whatever, and it got her to cry. And it's like her realest performance, dude. Like, oh my god, it's so good. So Lev L Spiro, however you pronounce it, good on you, dude. Oh my god, you got some performances out of these people. And kudos to all these kid actors really, really shining in this film, where there's a bit more like heart than there would be in some of the episodes, you know? My favorite part has to be when they all come back. It's just so heartwarming and good when they all come back and they're like, oh, I can't believe you gave up your wizard powers and blah, 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 blah. My least favorite part is actually like a story moment. So it's not like the movie was bad or anything. It's like the fact that Archie turned that girl back into a bird. Unreal. And I'm not saying it's a terrible choice writing-wise. I think Archie's making a terrible choice. But, like, I get it. Writing-wise. Watch again. Absolutely. Recommend. Absolutely. If you haven't seen this, you're missing out. Like, it is definitely, how I've said, it's giving DCOM, it's just bad, or it, like, could have potentially been released in theaters. I think this is one of those that, like, it stands alone. It could have been released in theaters. Like, it's good. It's a good movie. It makes me cry every time I watch it. That's good. Like, that's just a good movie. Specific moments, there were a lot of great comedic relief moments. Any of the moments with Justin and Alex were like, you know, it's a really scary moment, but like when he accidentally, like, the rocks fall from underneath him and she goes, try that one. And he's like, you think? Or like, don't step on the crumbly part. It's all the crumbly part. I thought those were good. And then when they were trying to help Jerry out of the quicksand, and Max and Teresa kept falling, and Jerry finally just goes, it's slippery! Like, it took me out. So I feel like there was a bunch of really great comedic relief moments, as well as just the absolute incredible heart-to-heart moments. I've talked about a bunch of those, and the effects aren't bad either. There are definitely some effect moments that are like, all right, but it's like, for 2009 DCOM budget, the effects are really, really good. We've come light years from Xenon, I'll say that. That's everything for Wizards of Waverly Place, the movie. Guys, freaking watch this. It's so good. It has no right to be this good. I kind of want to watch it again, honestly. I feel like I just want to sit down and enjoy it instead of take notes. So yeah, my final rating is 8. Dream stones out of 10. Our total movie count is. Our cry count is. Parent that told us still the same. If you want to keep up with the movie I'm watching when, follow me on Instagram or Twitter. No. All socials. You'll find out what movie I'm watching when. I put up videos every Monday and Friday and sometimes Wednesday. Join Patreon. Got a tier starting at just $1 where you get every video a week early, coupon code for merch. Buy merch. Merch is great. Merch is grand. Until next time, comment, like, and subscribe. But I'm not in charge of your life. You are, so you do. And don't be the parrot about it. Giselle? I don't remember what her name was. Don't be the freaking parrot about it. Oh, 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 it's magic.